Not hiding anything. Everything the Bruins fans felt that Bruce Cassidy did, and he expressed it. Gotta love this guy. I would sign him to a 10-year deal.
He's the kind of guy like I'd be like, hey, you want to hear a joke, David? Bruce? And he'd be like, no, I don't like jokes. Don't tell me any jokes.
He thinks outside the box. He does some interesting things. The other night on the power play, all the centers, Coyle, Bergeron, Krejci, on the power play with Krug. I mean, puck handlers extraordinaire there.
This guy is all business, boy. He's a serious dude.
Well, look,
he's serious, man. There's not a funny bone in that guy's body.
He's a damn good coach. And hey, it's been a year now, or more than a year. I think we can say, especially Timmy, the Charlie Coyle for Ryan Donato deal, that was a steal.
Coyle's playing unbelievable. I mean, he's
terrific.
He's attained another level of he's getting up into the upper echelon of NHL players right now.
He might be a better two-way player than Bergeron right now.
Wow.
He's a big boy, too.
That's saying a lot. Bergeron's getting a little older. And Coyle is challenging him for that title.
He's a beast in the corners. I mean, he's a two-way player. Parcells used to say you can't teach size, and Charlie Coyle's, a testament to that.
Don Sweeney, another great job in acquiring Coyle, and then sewing him up for a long time. Just at a nice user-friendly cap deal.
Absolutely.
Hey, and Kasha's been a very good player for them.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, how about DeBrusque? He's been playing great.
DeBrusque had a great game 4, right? All of a sudden, he's like streaky guy, it seems, scoring well.
Yeah, he's streaky. He is.
But good prospect still. I mean, he's still very, very young. Will they sign him to a big deal or what?
Probably. I think he's trade bait.
Yeah.
The hot streak is trade bait.
I like his game now.
All right, so that's good news.
But he disappears for like a month at a time, and they have to bench him.
How about Connor Clifton? What a luxury, to be able to pull a guy out of your hat like that. I mean, this guy's a legitimate NHL defenseman.
Well, this just shows the organizational depth, Russell.
It's a good organization. Cassidy, Sweeney's made good moves. Many more good moves than bad moves. Let's put it that way.
How many NHL
he was
teams?
Dealt a pretty lousy hand there. They were way over the cap, and they were full of aging veterans with no place to go.
Their depth at forward and defense is got to be one of the best in the league. I mean, if somebody gets injured, they have very capable replacements waiting in the wings to come right in.
Timmy, we should have won a Stanley Cup last year. We should.
Oh, absolutely.
And we should be going a chance
the referees threw this modern game of hockey right out the window, and they let them play 1970s hockey out there. And the Blues. We weren't ready for it. Blues. They took advantage of it. You know what I mean? Everybody thought those days were long gone, but the refs put the whistles away and let them. I love that brand of hockey. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but they should have been. Yeah, but they should have done it in the Stanley Cup Finals. All right, we go to
they wouldn't have if it was Montreal, though.
No, you're right, Joe.
We go to the Patriots, and maybe the Patriots getting eliminated so early in the playoffs helped Bill Belichick concentrate on the draft more, because I'm hearing great things about the draft picks right now. No more than Kyle Duggar. I don't think we're going to miss Chung at all. This Duggar looks like the real deal.
It's one thing to practice. Another thing is let's see them.
No, but Joe, we always say that in about 5 minutes when those guys put on the NFL pads, if they're players or not.
I think the other thing is, he's made some questionable defensive back draft picks early in the draft over the years. This was
especially at that position, right?
Right.
There and in the second round too.
Right, but Joe, this was one where there are a lot of the smart guys were like, no, this kid can play. Like that. Yeah. This was not. I can't believe that Bill Belichick took this guy in the first round. It was like, no, this kid is a player. So
no, I know a lot of his tape was against. He didn't play in the strongest division in college, but the tape I saw on him, he was a man amongst boys out there. I mean, he wasn't playing the Ohio States and the Floridas of the world, but he was at a different level than everybody else on the field. All the tape I saw.
Not only was he better than the others in that division, he was also quite a bit older than them too.
What's he, 29?
But they said
he's not that old. 27, I think.
They said he has top Division I speed. So that he's a fast guy. You can't,
and like Timmy would say, you can't coach speed or size.
Yeah. They're very strong in the secondary, as we know. That's what's going to help carry them. The Cam Newton, first of all, look, Tom Brady's Tom Brady. His personality is because he's just a remarkable player over the last 20 years. Straight on, he's not that interesting. Cam Newton is just fun to look, watch, see, do whatever he's doing is cool to me.
Yeah, I've been listening to this podcast series, coincidentally, about Cam. Yeah. Very, very interesting guy, like very interesting background. Like I've gained a lot of respect for him and would have even if he hadn't joined the Patriots. It's just there's been this whole podcast thing about
this
him.
This guy's he's like royalty down in Carolina. I have some distant family that live down there, and they think of him as a god down there.
Yeah, it's really, he's if he can play, he's going to be a big star up here. He's going to be a huge star. Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. You can just look at the Facebook pages and stuff. People have moved on from Tom Brady. Very, very excited about Cam Newton. But I'm not buying this whole Cam Newton Stidham, duo as far as playing. No way. Cam Newton's the starting quarterback. If we're serious about anything this year, he's the starting quarterback game one.
Totally agree.
I mean,
totally agree. Yeah.
Stidham in practice yesterday got picked off 3 times. I mean, that's all I've ever heard about Stidham and pick off, right?
Give him another year.
That was his introduction to the NFL.
Give him another year to age like a fine wine. You know what I mean? He needs a little more maturity in the wine cellar, probably.
Who's driving the Stidham hype train?
Are the Patriots driving it?
No, Patriots.
Yeah, I also think there's some reporters who are in the Patriots' back pocket, right, and who just are gonna whose best interest it is to do what the Patriots want them to do, which is to build a guy like that up.
Right. All right, so we got a tight end apparently from UCLA. How do you pronounce his name?
Asiasi.
Be careful.
He's so in Spanish, but apparently he's the real deal. If you know what they're saying right now, he's got the height, he's got the speed. These guys generally.
How tall is he, Scotty?
I don't know, but he's generally
6'4", Joe. Is he 6'4"?
Yeah, he's a good size. He's a big tight end.
How tall is Gronk? And
I heard Belichick say today, hey, we'll use 23 personnel if we want. That would be that's a 3 tight end set with 2 backs,
Yeah.
They run the ball like that.
What was Gronk?
6'5",
6'7".
Gronk was 6'7". Yeah, no, he was a freak of nature.
He's huge.
Joe, I do have a question for you though. So what was your reaction when you heard that they signed Lamar Miller?
I wasn't thrilled, I'd rather give the kid from Alabama a good shot.
Damian Harris.
Yeah. I'd rather see them give him a good shot after his redshirt year.
Do you think that signing was as much about Sony Michel as anybody though?
Well, I said when that came over the wires, I said to Scotty, that might be the last we've heard of Sony Michel.
Wow. But guys, don't underestimate these practices. They only have 14.
Right.
So, I mean, when we talk about 3 or 4 practices.
Yeah, they have to make decisions based on these few practices they have.
Yeah.
And make big decisions.
How do you get ready for an NFL season with 14 practices?
It's going to be a bleep show. Are you kidding me? Those first 4 games are going to be an absolute bleep show across the NFL.
I mean, it would have been in the Patriots' best interest to have Brady back in a season like that, with 14 practices.
They've got a tough schedule, too. They've got a brutal schedule.
Yeah, but we don't even know who's going to be good or bad. I mean, we know obviously the Chiefs are going to be good, but look.
Is there any other league where the balance of power shifts more year to year than the NFL?
No.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's so important. Well, first of all, they created a system of free agency to do that. They wanted parity, and parity has to do, they flip from good to bad, and the draft means a lot.
I mean, the teams come out of nowhere from going 3-13 to going 14-2. I mean, no other league really do you see that.
Yeah, there's some statistic, Tim, about the turnover in the NFC year to year is amazing. You know, the number of teams that come out of nowhere in the NFC to make the playoffs and go deep in the playoffs is,
the Chargers
is very
a couple
high.
Of years ago, I was at who did we knock off in the playoffs 2 years ago? Was it the Chargers?
Mm-hmm.
They kind of came from nowhere, and I mean, they were dominant.
And then last year, the injuries just decimated those Chargers. They didn't have anyone left on the team. And now Rivers has gone to the Colts, so they're like starting over from scratch again.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that Rivers is in the Colts. That's another interesting storyline moving forward. All right, we have to talk about
Do we have to? Are you sure we have to?
We have.
Is there a rule or something?
Who predicted 24 wins? And I'm going to be
you were
low.
You're way high.
I'm going to
be
way over. And I was 10 games lower than all of you.
Well, first of all, the hope is, and that I guess we're all banking on this, is that they will, if they have the 60 games and whoever finishes where they finish, that will be the draft order. And they won't pull this bullshit where they'll combine both the 19 and 20 season. If they did that right now, I think the Red Sox would get the 11th pick in the draft, and Detroit, who's playing well right now, would get another first-round pick.
No, that would suck. Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. So, look, one thing the Red Sox cannot do, and if they do it, I'm done. And I love the Red Sox more than anyone. If they trade Xander Bogaerts off this,
they're not going to trade Xander.
If Xander
Did you believe
Bogaerts
all that talk today? There was lots of it.
Nah, they're not doing that. That doesn't make any sense.
Somebody some information somewhere.
No, but that just doesn't make any sense. He signed long term. He signed at a good price. He's still the guy you could rebuild around Xander.
And most of the contenders have good quality shortstops.
Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense. I mean, they're talking about, well, he can opt out, and they're going to have plenty of money. This year was about resetting the luxury tax. Right? This wasn't about not having the money. This team has plenty of money. They own freaking Nesson, for God's sakes.
Well, I had told you a few weeks ago that my sources said that Xander Bogaerts was not very happy with the organization, and he hasn't been all year. Could it be that Xander may be quietly asking out?
No.
He's got a contract that would be very...
He can opt out. He doesn't need to ask out. He can opt out.
After how many years?
2 more years. Two more years. Yeah.
I know, but those guys don't like to wait that long.
You know, the Red Sox knew exactly what they were doing this year, going in with this pitching lineup they had. I mean, it was this is no surprise to anybody how this is turning out.
Well, how much patience are we going to have with Chaim Bloom? He hasn't made one move yet.
Scotty, he's doing exactly what they want. He was brought in to tear it down, Scott. There are no moves.
Right.
The studs.
There are no moves. He was told to trade Mookie, and he got as much as he possibly could get for Mookie, I'm assuming. He's going to be told to trade JD Martinez and Mitch Moreland and Nathan Eovaldi, and he's going to try to get as much as he can for them. He was told to tear this thing down.
How about our left fielder? Will he be gone?
I would trade everybody but Devers, Bogaerts, Verdugo, and Vasquez. And then I would literally trade every other player in the organization.
I saw a statistic on Devers, I think it was yesterday. Does he have more strikeouts than hits or something like that? Or some crazy stat about him.
But next year, the next year's manager is going to start out so much better with Sale and Erod automatically in your line.
No, I think the stat was he might have more strikeouts than total bases.
Yeah. No, he's came in out of shape. He's not interested. None of these guys are interested. They're mailing it in.
Yeah, Christian Vasquez, who I like a lot, who's become a top, 5 catcher in Major League Baseball, is absolutely phoning it in. I saw highlights today of the afternoon game, and Bradley made the remarkable throw from center field, and Vasquez lollygagged it to tag him, and the guy was safe.
Yeah. Look, just remember, by the way, the Major League Baseball players didn't even want to be here.
Yeah.
They got ordered to come back. And so these guys have nothing to play for right now on the Red Sox.
Vasquez did start like a house of fire, and then when they lost about 100 games, he lost interest quickly.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting. All right. So JD Martinez, last topic. Does he go or does he stay? Timmy?
I think he goes.
Russell, he's gone,
I think they're burning this thing to the ground. They're burning it to the ground.
Yes, I think so. And they're going to start new.
One surprise player that you guys think goes that we're not thinking about.
Does anybody want Benintendi? I would say Benintendi, but I don't even know if anybody would want him.
The same with JBJ.
Yeah, and Benintendi's the only guy that you'd be surprised about.
JBJ's a free agent, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to say,
by the way, Martinez is sort of a rental too.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Christian Vasquez could be a guy that could get a lot from a team that is a contending team. I can't think of one right now that needs a catcher. You could probably get
maybe,
quality stud pitchers, young
Yeah.
pitchers right now, and I think you'd be willing to do that.
Yep.
And selling high.
Right, Scotty. Yeah.
Anything for pitching right now. Anything.
Young pitching. That's what they need. And again, I just want to mention before we go, John Lester is still kicking ass in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. And Chris Sale is still on the DL.
And we could certainly use a lefty.
It's like Jimmy G, John Lester, and Mookie Betts will haunt us. They will never stop haunting us. All right, boys, that's our show for tonight. That went quick, guys. Want to thank the boys, of course. Want to thank everyone behind the scenes, of course, Corbin. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night. All right, boys.